630 WOCA.
Ocala.
Not here right now, but David Goodman is here sitting in Carol Ann's place, but the show is still called In the Garden with Carol Ann. David Goodman sitting in for Carol Ann. Did I just repeat myself? The phone number is 622-9622 if you'd like to call David during the course of this show. David, by the way, is known as David the Good if you're looking for his books on let's say, Amazon or any other place where you can get books. And they are really popular from what I understand. And you got a new one, so I'll let you talk about it. Good morning, David. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. Today's the last day of summer. The last day. Does it mean anything to you at all?
Yeah.
Not really?
Yeah, no, it does. I mean,
I wasn't sure if that was
it dropped below 95 degrees the other day, and I thought, feels like winter now.
Yeah. Well, 4 o'clock tomorrow morning is the beginning of autumn. Something like that. 4 something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The leaves will start falling right out of the palm trees.
Doesn't change anything, does it? You can still go to the beach. Do you go to the beach a lot?
I used to go to the beach a lot. I grew up down in South Florida, and we would go to the beach moderately often. But up here, it's an hour and a half's drive over to Ormond, so it's
a little bit of a haul.
Very often.
Not too bad, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if my van's going to make it back when I go, so.
How far do you live, hours-wise, not miles-wise, but from this station?
From here, I'm about 25 minutes north.
Oh, okay.
I'm up in between Anthony and Citra, kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Have you been to Marjorie Kinnan Rowling's home?
Yeah, I have been over there. I did a painting over there. Did a plein air.
Did you really?
Out back of that house.
We have so much in common, except for your knowledge of plants. I don't have a clue about plants.
And I don't think I can play guitar as well as you can. So.
No, I thought you did pretty good. I heard you. Really?
I keep meaning to bring the guitar in.
I don't think
I should have brought it with me.
I'm not that good. I don't know why you think I am.
I don't get any paying gigs. Even the charity wouldn't have me.
Well, I don't sell any books. So you got a new book out. It's called Totally... Now, you told us about this book last time.
Yeah, now it's actually out.
Totally Crazy, Easy Florida Gardening. The Secrets to Growing Piles of Food
in the Sunshine State.
I love your choice of words for the title.
Well, it's, most gardening books are kind of boring. I mean, I don't like to say that gardeners are boring, but gardeners tend towards the stodgy and conservative end of the spectrum when it comes to the way they write. Right. I've noticed. I mean, it's generally how-to guides that are, well, what you're going to do is you're going to place these out at about 6 inches apart. Now you want to make sure that when you transplant, you don't disturb those roots. With the tomatoes, you're going to go about halfway deeper into the ground, and you're like, okay, that was really great, Yeah, I think I'll get out and garden. But gardening has been a kind of like a pastime or a hobby for brilliant people all through history. Some of our great statesmen, Thomas Jefferson and Washington, they would trade back and forth. They would trade plants. They were both very interested in the plants of the New World and how the new country could use some of these things like mulberries and pecans. They planted pecan trees, They were just like, you read some of these things from the past about how excited people got about what you could do with certain plants. Right. And it's sort of like we've now kind of put a lot of gardening in a little box. We got our little raised bed in the backyard, and it's sort of a little part-time hobby that we do.
Right,
We're not really playing around with it or experimenting like like we should. So this book, the difference in this book from regular gardening books or from Florida gardening is it's both funny and it's going to show you how to garden in your yard with great success, not through growing the same ways and the same stuff that people have grown for,
Well, I want you to go into detail if you don't mind. But I have a question for you. I don't know if I'm putting you on the spot, but have you ever done the calculations what it would cost to grow your own food versus what it costs to buy it in the grocery store or a farmer's market?
Yeah, actually, I have done some of the calculations on it. I did it, I mean, probably most notably with the mulberry tree, when I grew a mulberry tree, because we were growing strawberries and we were growing blackberries and we were attempting to grow blueberries and we were growing, the small berries. And I was trying to figure out, how much time am I actually putting in this compared to how much the berries are worth, right? When you calculate in the cost of the plant, okay, I paid, $12 for this little blueberry plant, and then I took care of it for 3 years to get a handful of blueberries that would have cost me about $5 in the store, maybe. It's like, that's pretty... Okay, how many years does this blueberry have to produce, et cetera?
Right.
The commercial guys have it down to a science because they have to make money off it.
Right.
For the home gardener, we're a little, kind of.
So does the benefit come in the nutritional value? Is it more nutritious to grow your own stuff?
Sometimes, yeah. It depends on how far from commercial farming you are. Like with blueberries, it's probably not significantly more nutritious to grow your own blueberries unless you're feeding them on nutrient-dense stuff. Say you're giving them, if your local blueberry place is a non-organic place and they're feeding them just chemical fertilizers, right? So maybe they're just giving them chemical fertilizers and the micronutrients are not being replenished in the soil. Your homegrown blueberries that you're feeding on kelp meal and bone meal or whatever else you're giving, you might be giving them micronutrients that are a little different. And the soil may be not as depleted. Maybe you haven't run that soil on blueberries forever. But the trick I find is not to say how much money can I make off this blueberry. If the blueberry is not really making you the money, just don't bother with the blueberries. We figured. We planted a mulberry tree and we got about 6 gallons of mulberries the second year. And that's what we counted. That's what we put in the freezer. And then the children ate a lot off the bottom of the tree. So we don't exactly know what the full yield was, maybe 8 gallons. But we were looking at the cost of organic berries in the store because the trees grow organically. And the cost of organic berries in the store, not mulberries, but comparable berries, raspberries, blackberries, was, $3 to $4 for a little clamshell. And I thought, I did the calculations. I said, it's about $250 worth of berries we pulled off the tree this spring and put in the freezer. We got enough organic berries for the entire year off of this tree. Do
you make them into jelly, or
my wife made them into cobbler, which kind of probably negates the health effect of the berries if you make it into cobbler, right? It's too much sugar.
Cobbler, you mean a pie? Is that a pie?
Right.
Okay, I wasn't sure what a cobbler was.
A cobbler, the old Southern thing. You mix up some dough and you mix up some sugar and you kind of make this wonderful crumbly casserole.
Sounds really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
It does sound good. Yeah.
But you figure, well, maybe my problem is not that I should be buying berries, just that I'm growing the wrong berries. If you're growing things that are not all that productive, you're not going to make money off of your garden. But if you grow some things, zucchinis are notorious for making way too many zucchini. You can, if you grow the kind of produce that makes a ridiculous amount of stuff, then it certainly makes sense.
Can I ask you a question? All right. Let's say somebody is living in a city where they have an apartment. It doesn't have to be a big city, just any place where they don't really have any ground. Can that person, or even in a nursing home, if they're healthy enough to do this, could they have like a window, like a box? I guess it wouldn't be a large box, but could you literally grow enough, I don't know, lettuce or could you even grow tomatoes indoors? Man, I'll have to wait till after the break.
After this break.
All right, the phone line is open. Your questions are more important than mine. I hope you call David with some questions, and don't forget to check out his books. He'll tell you how to do that in just a second. David does these visits with us for free. He doesn't get paid to do these, so let's give him something back and buy his books. Totally Crazy Easy Florida Gardening is one of the new books from David the Good. We'll be right back with David.
weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be partly sunny today with a high of 85 to 89, then partly cloudy tonight. There may be a shower in spots along the coast, low 70 to 74. For tomorrow, times of clouds and sun with a passing thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 85 to 87. On Thursday, times of clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm, high 84 to 88. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779. Keep up with what's going on in the downtown area with Ocala Downtown Newspaper. Delivering thousands of newspapers to businesses in the downtown area, Ocala Downtown is there to keep you informed. They even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about it. It's simple. For more info, just call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223, and pick up your copy of the Downtown Ocala newspaper today. Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my
too.
seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new
Yep,
trunk.
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
All right. It is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. I have kind of a silly question to ask you, David. David Goodman is here. The show is called In the Garden with Carol Ann. Carol Ann Baldwin is not here. Do we know where Carol Ann is?
I think that she's managing the Trump campaign right now. Like she was asked to step in and do a little bit of help.
Wow.
She has a very straightforward way about her, and I think Trump liked that.
I hope he pays.
Oh, I'm sure he
hope
does.
It's not another volunteer thing.
Yeah.
So here's my silly question for you. Do you see up there we have some I guess they're wasps or something?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever heard this? Now somebody posted this online. I don't know if this is true or not, but if you take a paper bag, and like a paper bag like you get from the grocery store, and you just fill it with paper, like newspaper, and then like twist the top of it so that it has the shape of a wasp nest. This sounds so crazy. I'm almost embarrassed to ask you this, but this is what it said on the internet. So you take that now you have a big paper bag from a grocery store with the top twisted and it's bulging out because it's filled with newspapers, and then you hang that from wherever the place is where the wasps are hanging their own nests, that they will see there's a very large wasp that's obviously living there, and they will stay away. Have you ever heard this?
I haven't heard that.
You never heard this at all?
I mean, I did something similar, and a Nigerian prince sent me $1.5 million. But no, but I mean,
They
do have very good eyes. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they see it as competition.
Yeah, but if you saw that,
Yeah, I can see you out there making a little wasp nest. Maybe you could get some toilet paper rolls and put them in a big bag so it looks like great big honeycomb. You don't want to mess with these, do you? The wasps in there got to be that big.
Well, they're
gonna eat you.
That was the gist of the text that was with this article. Well, that was the article.
You're gonna have to just hang a bag out here in the studio.
Well, I don't live here. I can't hang up in the mall. I'm sure they'd have a rule against it.
They probably invite you to the White House to talk about it.
It's too good. Are you ready for a phone call?
Yes.
Let's see if somebody has something to say. Good morning. You're on the air with David.
Yes, good morning, David.
Good morning.
Larry.
Hey.
I'm calling for my neighbor who asked me about Crape Myrtles, when it would be the last time to trim them down. I guess they're done blossoming, and he asked me, and I have a couple myself, but I really wasn't concerned about it, and I didn't know what to tell him. I told him I'll call this garden show up and get the correct answer for you.
Well, just for trees in general at this time of year, it's not a good time to prune them. I mean, other than maybe cosmetic or removing a diseased branch, because we're coming up towards them going into dormancy, and they get confused signals. If they get pruned at this time of the year, usually what happens is they try to grow out again and fix the damage. If you cut a branch off, it tells the tree, produce more buds. There's a hormone release that says go, grow, fix it. So it'll start to grow back. But then as the cold is coming, what you end up with is some green wood that ends up frozen off, which can damage the tree or kill the tree. So personally, when I do all my pruning, it's usually in late January, early February, before the trees wake up again, when the sap is mostly down in the roots and not up in the leaves, and when they're not, they're getting close to waking up, and that's when I want them to make the big jump of new growth. So I can't say for sure on Crape Myrtles, but the way trees usually work, I wouldn't prune them until they're dormant in the winter and they've gone well to sleep.
Yeah, I know in the past I always pruned mine back in March, and I thought that was the correct time to do it, but I wanted to make sure. So I'll just tell the neighbor to hang in there and live with what he's, unless he's got like you say, a couple of dead branches he wants to trim out, But to wait till after frost, like February or March.
Yeah, I don't do any fertilizing or pruning usually after July or maybe August at the latest. Yeah.
Okay,
absolutely.
thanks very much.
Yes, sir. Thanks for calling.
The phone number is 622-9622. If you'd like to call the show, you're invited to do that. Carol Ann is not here. David Goodman is here, sitting in for Carol Ann. And don't forget, David's got some books out there. He goes by the name David the Good, by the way. Good morning. You're on the air with David.
Good morning. I was really curious about guava trees growing in Marion County. When I moved up here, I saw there was a few out at Lake Weir, and I thought, oh, joy, I'll be able to plant one. And I planted one on the south side of the house, and it was about maybe 4 foot tall and nice and healthy. Well, the first freeze, even though I covered it, it died. Can you recommend a way to keep them living?
Yes, you've got a couple of options. With the tropical guava, which sounds like what you have, they really have no tolerance for cold whatsoever. I tried planting them in the ground and covering them like you did multiple years ago, just to see if it was possible. What you need to do if you want to grow a tropical guava is planting it on the south side of the house is good, but you have to plant it like flat to the wall. If you put a bit of trellising on your wall and tie the branches, we're saying like, an inch to 6 inches away from the wall. You pretty much are training it back to the wall on a two-dimensional trellis. That's called espaliering the tree, and that will keep it from freezing. Usually within a foot or two of the south wall of your house, you don't get freezes that will kill a tropical tree. I just actually posted recently on my key lime tree. My website is thesurvivalgardener.com, and I'm always posting on how I'm keeping stuff from the frost. And one of the things I do is I grow a key lime tree, and I don't ever cover it or protect it or put lights on it or anything, but I've tied it. I planted it 6 inches from the back wall of my house and tied the tree back and pruned it so it's growing in basically a two-dimensional plane, and we've got lots of key limes right now. My wife actually made key lime pie a couple of weeks ago off of our key limes.
Nice.
And you can do the same thing with the guava.
The thing about guavas is, you know that they smell terrible if you have too many and they fall on the ground and rot.
Oh, yes, they do.
Really do. So I never even considered planting it, but perhaps I could do that on an outbuilding. You know, I got a little barn area out in the back.
That's a possibility.
I could probably try that. Now, I got an idea on the limes. I tried the patio lime and put it in a urn, and I bring it in on my back porch on the winter. And I had like 25 limes the first year, but the second year I had hardly any. Now, what would cause lack of fruiting?
Might be a nutrition thing. If it gets too much nitrogen, if it's got lots of nice green leaves and it's not bearing any fruit, it's got too much nitrogen. If it's not growing a lot, you know, you might throw some micronutrients on it. It also may be a pollination issue. If you don't have a lot of bees buzzing around the tree when it's in bloom, you're not going to get fruit.
That's right, we don't.
Well, a lot of neighborhoods,
really
unfortunately, you know how they've been spraying for mosquitoes.
Around here.
When they go spraying for mosquitoes through the neighborhoods, I have a friend who's an organic beekeeper, and he's got beehives in his backyard. They've been spraying for mosquitoes in his neighborhood. He's lost 4 or 5 of his hives in the last few months since they started spraying the neighborhood.
It's amazing how sensitive they are to the poisons and things. And, you know, I don't use any commercial stuff like that, any poisons or diatomaceous earth is the most that I use on things.
Yeah, but I
think I would have some bees, but they're not here now.
No, you're suffering from everybody else's use of poisons.
No ladybugs. Have you noticed that? We have very few ladybugs. I even bought some and tried to put them in my garden, and that didn't work either.
Well, one way you can get the ladybugs...
Well, thank you so much for the advice. I'm really enjoying your show. What did you say the name of your website is?
It's thesurvivalgardener.com.
Survivalgardener.com?
Yeah, thesurvivalgardener.com. You have to T-H-E, Survival Gardener. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And you have another phone call, David. Good morning. You're on the air with David. Good morning. You're on the air. I think somebody butt dialed you. I'm not so sure. Are you there? Yeah, I think somebody just butt dialed you accidentally. Sorry. So I looked up the bag thing. Okay, now I found a bunch of articles that contradict one another. Some say it worked, some say it didn't. So I went to the real source. I went to Amazon because I thought surely somebody has tried to sell this idea.
Right.
And somebody has. And so on Amazon, there's a whole bunch of them actually. And here's the interesting thing. The average rating of 375 customers is 3.5 stars. The thing cost, how much does this cost? Where's the price of this thing? $7.99. And you get 2 of them, 2 of these fake wasp nests, okay? But now here's the interesting thing. Somebody who gave it 5 stars wrote, we were looking for a natural wasp repellent for our deck area. Every year we battle wasps through our summer. We recently purchased this product without much expectation. Much to our surprise, this product is keeping the wasps away from our deck area. That's the person who gave it 5 stars. The person who gave it 1 star said, I had high hopes for this product. I have little children who wanted a safer way to get rid of the wasps around our front door and backyard. I put these up and didn't notice any change right away, but a few days later, I didn't see any wasps at all. I was thrilled until the weather report called for rain. The product has to be taken down there. So they gave it, okay. So they gave it 1 star because it was raining, okay.
Oh, brother.
No, that doesn't count.
I actually let the wasps build around the edges of my house because the main food of wasps is caterpillars. They hunt caterpillars in the garden.
So it works out.
So yeah, so I leave the wasps. I put a row of mailboxes. One of the other master gardeners, O'Brien, gave me his old mailboxes. I asked him if he had any old mailboxes around. He had them because the guy has everything. And I put a row of old mailboxes over my garden for the paper wasps to move into because they always seem to build in the mailbox. I see the mailman always going like this, you know. I thought, hey, I'm going to put some mailboxes for them to live in, you know. And so there's a row of mailboxes over my garden that the wasps live in.
And so you want the wasps?
I want the wasps in my garden
because they
eat caterpillars.
And caterpillars are bad.
I've seen them killing grasshoppers. I've seen them killing stink bugs and spiders and all kinds of stuff, but I really want them eating those caterpillars. I've watched them grab a caterpillar and wrestle it on the ground, just biting pieces of it out. They take these chunks of caterpillar.
Aren't you glad we're not bugs?
Yeah. I remember, I'll tell you, my grandpa once told me, he says, people look around and go, nature is so peaceful and wonderful and beautiful. He goes, it's all fighting and death all the way down to the cellular level.
It is really.
He says everything under his feet's killing each other.
It's true.
Yeah, you're right.
It is true. All right, we will be right back. We've got another half hour of the show. Your calls are very, let's see, entertaining, educational. We learn from your calls. 622-9622.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. We're hours away from a historic visit by the leader of the Roman Catholic Church.
There's a Welcome Pope Francis sign up at St. Matthew's Cathedral, where he'll hold a midday prayer service tomorrow.
I think everybody will have a wonderful time, and hopefully the spirit will be renewed in everyone.
I think it's great he's coming.
The Pope will land at Andrews Air Force Base this afternoon. He'll be greeted by the President and First Lady.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland. The President and the Pope meet tomorrow also. The Kentucky clerk who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples could be back in court soon for altering marriage license forms issued to gay couples. And police officers getting a thank you from a St. Cloud, Florida restaurant yesterday. Free sandwich meals.
Every once in a while when we get recognized by a place like Crape Myrtles, it makes it all worth it.
Officer Troy Talaria, that was on UN's International Day of Peace. Fox News, we report, you decide.
There is something about the road that beckons, that invites us to pack up the family and leave the world behind. And there is something about an industry-leading unlimited mileage warranty on a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz that gives us the freedom to do exactly that. You take to the highway, rack up the miles for up to 3 years, and drive with the assurance that your Mercedes-Benz is covered. You have the security of being in a car that has been certified to Mercedes-Benz standards, while you enjoy a carefree ownership experience for miles and miles. But while the mileage is unlimited, your time to take advantage of our certified pre-owned sales event is not. Now through September 30th, you can also receive complimentary prepaid maintenance and your first 2 months payments on us on select models, plus 3 months of Sirius XM satellite radio. So hurry into your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer today and see why we say the odometer is there to record the memories.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
You're listening to Florida State Football on WOCA, brought to you by the fine sponsorship of Ocala BMW Porsche, Tri-Eagle Sales and Distribution, and the Marion County Seminoles Club. We'd like to thank all our fine sponsors for all their contributions so that we can bring you Florida State Seminoles football. So once again, thanks to Ocala BMW Porsche, Tri-Eagle Sales, and the Marion County Seminole Club.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
You're listening to WOCA, Ocala.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. David Goodman is in the studio, and I always love when David is here. He's sitting in for Carol Ann Baldwin. The show is called In the Garden with Carol Ann, and the phone lines are open if you want to call David and ask a question. The number is 622-9622. A lot of the knowledge that David has, he shares in books that he has written, so we'll get a chance later on to tell you about the books. And he's got a new one. We'll tell you about that, too. But first, let's go to the phone. Good morning. You're on the air with David.
Yeah, good morning, David. How you doing?
Good morning, sir. I'm doing well.
Hey, listen, can I kiss her on the first date?
Is this a legit question?
Can I hold her hand in public on the first date? Is that okay?
It depends on the girl. I mean, it depends on if she's a keeper or not.
Yeah.
You know, if she's a floozy, I don't see why not, but...
But should I wait 7 days to give her a call, or should I call her after 2 days?
I'm starting to think there should be a piano behind this call.
Hey, listen, I know how we can keep the wasp away.
How's that?
Just don't bring out the Grey Poupon.
Yeah, that's the wasp.
That's right. That's right.
I like that.
No, that's good. Oh, and put away all the LL Bean catalogs.
Because you know how much wasps like that.
Right, yeah.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone. Well, last time we brought up wasps, somebody else called up with the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant reference. And,
right, like, yeah, here we go. I know. Yeah.
All right, so tell me about the. Okay, we were going to talk about if you have a box by your window and you live in an apartment.
Growing in an apartment.
Yeah.
You can technically grow all your food in an apartment. If you grew spirulina algae and mealworms, you can pretty much have a complete diet. Yeah, it's.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't sound very good. I mean, they do kind of look like Chinese noodles, the mealworms, when they're roasted, like those little wonton noodles.
That's awful.
The problem.
There's no nutritional value to ramen noodles, by the way.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, which is fun. I don't know how I got through college. Growing in an apartment, it's a limited light issue for the most part. If you're going to try and grow tomatoes indoors, you have to have some really bright, good lights, and you put some lights on a timer. You can have a grow shelf where you have the lights hang in there, and if you don't mind getting the occasional raid by a SWAT team, you can set up indoor lights like that. If you have a balcony or a wall that faces south and gets plenty of light, you can grow. I wouldn't try to grow, like root vegetables and things like that. Probably, I would try to grow high value crops that take up a small space, like herbs and salad greens. I said you could grow. You could probably grow all of your salads in maybe a 2-foot by 6-foot space if you kept stuff seeded and regularly planted and you kept them well taken care of. You just keep harvesting those lettuce leaves, picking them off every.
Does the air conditioning affect it or no?
Yeah, air conditioning. Most plants don't particularly like the dry, cool air. They like a little more humidity.
So I'm looking in the book, and you can grow mustard in Florida.
Yep.
So help me out with this. You can make this. Just realize this is probably a dumb question, but that's
not a dumb
me
question.
asking it. So you can grow mustard.
Yes.
The Jesus parable, or the Jesus thing, where he says the faith of a mustard seed. That implies a mustard seed is very tiny.
Right. It is a small seed.
And does it grow into a very large plant?
No. The interesting thing about that parable is mustard is only a small vegetable. I mean, it only gets like 4 to 5 foot tall. So I think what Jesus is saying in that is it's like you were planting a mustard seed, a tiny little seed,
right?
And then it turns into something completely and terrifyingly unexpected. Like the kingdom of God is like you planted this little weeny seed, and suddenly you have this tree in your garden that is so massive you did not expect that. The kingdom of God is unexpected. So it's not.
Is Jesus okay with you calling it a weenie seed? Is that kind of?
No, I think that's fine.
That's okay. A weenie seed.
Yeah, I mean, God invented that sort of thing. So, but yeah, so you got this. Mustard.
But I mean, you can make mustard like French's mustard out of it?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, they're probably a proprietary blend of FD&C yellow number 5. But
what makes it yellow?
Usually they add a little bit of turmeric to make it more yellow.
Oh, okay.
Somewhat yellow. I mean, it's
natural mustard isn't yellow?
Yeah, natural mustard is kind of brownish, grayish. Yeah.
So like Grey Poupon?
Yeah. Well, okay. So mustard is a green, and it's a condiment. The condiment comes from the seeds. The seeds, when they're crushed and fermented in vinegar, additive vinegar, you basically make a smashed paste out of the seeds, and it's really zippy. The leaves are zippy too, but when you cook them, they're just a mild, very good green. Yeah.
And you have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with David.
Yes, this is Jerry Ocala.
Hi.
3 questions. Number 1, what do you think of these catalog seed things? And are they worth sending for? Number 2, I have a banana tree, 3 years old. It was 20 feet tall last winter. It froze. I cut it to 4 feet. 2 weeks later, I had a 3-foot stem in the middle. I also have 6 little banana trees coming right next to it. What do I do with those babies? Just leave them there, or will I ever have bananas? And I'm a poor boy farmer. Where can I get heirloom seeds or something cheap that I can afford to grow food?
Yes.
That's it.
Okay, the seed catalogs. Yes, I think the seed catalogs are worth it. Not all of them are worth it. My favorites, I like Johnny Selected Seeds for the farm seeds. If I'm going to do a big plot, they have a good price. They don't have a huge selection of seeds, but they have a lot of the good commercial stuff. Johnny Selected Seeds.
Where do I get that?
Do you get that? Oh, you can go to Johnny. I believe it's johnny's.com and order the seed catalog there. Most of the seed company websites now they provide the order form on the website, and that's where you just go and you request it and you punch in your address and they'll mail it to you in a couple of weeks.
Are there any heirloom clubs around?
Heirlooms? Yes.
Heirloom, something I can grow. I can't get anything out of the grocery to grow.
Yeah, Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company is a really good one.
What's the name of that again?
It's called Baker Creek. Baker Creek, like a bread baker. Yeah, Baker Creek Heirloom. Another good one is called the Southern Exposure Seed Exchange, and they're a southeastern seed company that has a lot of heirlooms they're maintaining.
I got it. Okay, what about that banana? Will I ever get a banana?
Yes, actually, I posted actually a video on how we grow bananas. I get bananas every year off of my banana trees, and the YouTube video is called How to Grow Bananas in North Florida. And the trick is, when they get really tall and they freeze back, most people do like what you did and they cut them back and then it grows out of the center again. Well, that kind of resets the plant. The plant ends up spending a lot of time regrowing and it doesn't get around to making a bloom before it gets cold and it gets frozen down again. So the trick is even though the tree looks really ugly after it gets frozen, if you just leave that ugly tree there all the way through the winter, let it grow back out top. In the spring, it'll often bloom. If it's gotten to be 20 foot tall, chances are it probably would have bloomed this year if it didn't get pruned back. But when it gets pruned, it spends all the energy trying to grow back again. So if you can resist cutting them down, that helps. And also with the little babies around the base, you can take, you said it had about 6 little babies, you can take about half of those and plant them somewhere else and leave the other half. And when that first stalk makes bananas, hopefully next year, then you're going to chop that stalk down after it makes the bananas, and after you harvest the bananas, it's not going to do it again. The next biggest stalk will be the one that bears bananas next. So you let the next one come up the next year, and don't prune it or anything, just let it grow, and then you could just keep doing that. And what has happened with me is I planted a few banana trees. They grew into a big clump, and now year after year I've got about 6 big stalks of bananas growing right now off of the back edge of my house. But it took about 4 years, of going through freezes and things before they really started doing awesome. So it's just a matter of letting them go through that without cutting them back mostly, and giving them lots of water. And if you can get them lots of compost or any kind of nitrogen fertilizer, they love that.
I told my neighbor she wasn't having good luck. I put a gallon of water, whether it rains or shine, on it every day.
Yeah, that's why it grew. I was thinking to get to 20 foot, they take about twice the rainfall of what Florida provides. They like 100 inches a year, according to some estimates that I've read, and we get 50-something a year. So you exactly did the right thing, yeah.
I appreciate all your info, and thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for calling.
That was a good call.
And
Thank you. Thank you for the call. All right, we'll take a little break. We got 15 minutes left in the show. We invite you to call. David Goodman is here to answer your questions about your gardens. I have a banana plant with bananas on it right now.
All right, congratulations.
So I'm looking at your video right now, too, with your bananas, so I'll have to look at it again and kind of understand, because I'm trying to figure out when I'm supposed to cut them and can I actually eat them ever. We'll be right back with David.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be partly sunny today with a high of 85 to 89, then partly cloudy tonight. There may be a shower in spots along the coast, below 70 to 74. For tomorrow, times of clouds and sun with a passing thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 85 to 87. On Thursday, times of clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm, high 84 to 88. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
Ooh, ouch. Does pain have you glued to the couch? Yes, unfortunately it's true that every year we must get older, but that doesn't mean we have to deal with pain in our back, knees, or shoulder. If your muscles and joints are sore, don't worry anymore. Come get acupuncture from me and you'll be pain-free. Acupuncture starts as low as $35 at a Better You Healthcare. Call me, Dr. Erica Olstein, at 615-5566. Stop your pain from driving you insane.
Cookies. When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. That's right. The Great American Cookie Company in the Paddock Mall, Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. You might notice that I said fun and delicious more than once. That's because I can't say it enough. The next time you're at the mall, be sure and stop by or call 352-237-2557 to place your order.
Cookies.
Yum.
We go eating cookies.
The Great American Cookie Company.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
A 10 to 20-minute nap pays off the most. Any longer, and your body falls into deep stages of sleep, making you groggy when you wake up. Take Sam's Club, for example. They're so confident that drones will be the hot holiday gift that they're stocking a dozen different kinds, from basic models to ones that come equipped with high-res cameras or the ability to pick up small objects. Things we watch on TV can absolutely directly impact our mood.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Whatever gonna be, I'm ready. Got my AR-15 ready. Water in my canteen ready. When the stuff hits the fan, I'm ready. Don't get no dough off your car. Can't eat no money, no credit. Can't get no food from the stove, but the struggle won't break my spirit. Oh, the strong survive and the weak perish.
That is David Goodman, and your wife is playing what? What's she playing?
She's sharpening a knife in time to the music. She's got a big AK-47 bayonet.
Well, at least you got all thumbs up. You don't have any thumbs down. We get our share of thumbs down when we put stuff up on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't have any thumbs down. You got all thumbs up.
Yeah, everybody.
What is that song?
I just brainwashed everybody. Well, the original song actually has a lot of foul language in it and stuff, so I just edited it and turned it into a folk song. It was a hip-hop song.
Did you happen to see this song? A young boy, I guess he's a famous actor, I don't know, but he'd covered a song called Making Pie. I think it's. Have you ever heard the song Making Pie?
No.
I hadn't heard it either, but it's like this rap song or something, and he sings it. And his is about making pie, like making apple pie.
Right.
But making pie, I guess, is a gangsta term to mean something about drugs or something. Who knows? The world is going nutty.
I didn't even know where crack got its name until a former addict came over to my house and explained it to me once.
Where did it
guy had gotten saved and came out of his life on the street. He goes, "Oh, you know where that came from?" Said, no. He says you cook the cocaine down with this and that and the other. Here's how you do it. And he tells me how you make crack cocaine, and he says it's ready when it solidifies, and he says and you crack it. He says it's just like glass or sugar, cooked sugar. I'm like, okay, kids, let's go. Let's go to bed.
We don't need this information.
You don't need any more cooking lessons.
You don't need this information. So what is okay? In the book, you have something about. Oh, you want to say something about what was it again? Guacamole?
Guava.
Yeah. I knew it was a GU.
To the lady that called earlier talking about how to grow guava, I want to also say there is a guava that grows here that is a cold hardy guava, and it is a cousin of the tropical guava. So look for what's called a Cattleya, Cattley, Cattleya guava, or a strawberry guava, and it's a smaller guava. It's about the size of a golf ball rather than being the size of a baseball or a softball. It's a smaller guava, has a great guava flavor, and it's a very pretty bush, but it's good down into the low 20s before it starts to get damaged.
Really?
Those are an excellent one if you can find them.
And we have another phone call. Thank you for waiting. You're on the air now with David.
Yeah, sorry I missed the question earlier. It's Jerry Ocala, the poor-boy farmer. Can I go? How many of these people down at the produce market downtown would know if they have heirlooms or not?
Most farmers are quite well educated on whether or not they have heirlooms, and you'll see most of them are quite interested. Now it depends though if they're an actual farmer or if they're just a reseller, because some people go and they pick up a bunch of produce basically off the back of a big commercial truck, and then they can resell it, and that's what happens at some of the farmers markets. Some of them are actual producers though. I'm not sure what the regulations are like down in the Ocala market, but if you start asking them what seeds they used and where they grew them, there's no problem with hybrid seeds. That just means you've got two lines of seeds that they've crossed. That's not a GMO seed, but they don't produce true the next generation. But I have gotten some pretty good stuff by buying an heirloom vegetable, saving the seeds from it, and then planting it in my garden. So I would just ask them, what did you use to grow, and what are you growing from? There's a farmer named Tim Stokes who goes to the 326 community market up just a little bit north of Ocala, and he's got a ton of information in his head about different varieties and heirlooms and stuff that he likes to grow and grows well here. So yeah, it's a good idea to just ask him.
Yeah, because one tomato would supply my whole neighborhood out here.
Absolutely. And tomatoes are a good one to pick too, because they don't tend to crossbreed with other tomatoes. You can grow a bunch of tomatoes together and they don't cross very easily. They tend to be self-pollinators. So you pretty much get the same tomato again.
You're kidding. I didn't know that.
Yep. Some things like corn cross like crazy because they're wind pollinated. The pollen goes all over the place, and corn will cross with a zillion things, which is why it's really hard to keep your corn from becoming genetically modified corn, because the genes get passed around through corn all over the place through the air. But beans and tomatoes tend to be, and peppers tend to reproduce after their kind over and over again. So if you buy a jalapeno from the store, chances are you're going to get pretty darn good jalapenos when you plant them. And come right back in again.
Hey, not bad. Hey, I appreciate your time and effort, okay?
Yes, sir. And look me up on the web. and you can always ask questions there too if I'm not on the air. It's thesurvivalgardener.com.
Yeah, thanks for going to school.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for good stuff. So, okay, so in your book, the new book is called Totally Crazy Easy Florida Gardening, The Secret to Growing Piles of Food in the Sunshine State. If you're looking for it online, it's your website.
Yep, look for thesurvivalgardener.com is my website, and the books are linked to there. You can also find them on Amazon, and I've got that book, and then I've got my book Compost Everything, which is how to compost everything from human waste to meat to bread to all the stuff they say you can't compost. You can reduce the waste in your house. I did a calculation. You can reduce the waste going to the street by over 50% by going for extreme composting on your own property. And then I've got another one on turning your yard into an edible forest, and that's create your own Florida food forest. How to transform a Florida lawn into a food factory.
Do you have a dog?
Don't have a dog.
If you had a dog, would you feed your dog store-bought dog food, or would you make your own dog food?
If I had a dog, I'd probably teach him how to hunt. Go get the squirrel.
That's how you're going to eat. All right. In your book, you have something called longevity spinach. I want you to talk about it, but I also want to point this out. You say that this spinach is allegedly able to balance your blood sugar.
Yes. Yeah, that's actually, it's been
is that true for all spinach?
Studies. No, not true for all spinach. Longevity spinach is not even a true spinach. It's a Asian perennial vegetable. It's just starting to be sold in some nurseries and things. And it's a perennial. It grows like a little kind of a half vining plant on the ground.
Okay.
Leaves taste good in salads, but they definitely have a blood sugar balancing effect. They've shown that it's helped significantly with blood sugar balancing. Yeah.
So you wouldn't need, or I mean, you wouldn't mind be a doctor and try to say this to anybody,
right?
But it sounds like you could.
It reduces your problems with insulin resistance, is what it does.
Yeah. Is that interesting?
That's pretty interesting.
Did you see? There was a story this morning about a pill that they discovered that can fight HIV and cancer. The pill sold for $13.50 until they figured this out. Now it sells for $750 a pill. Same pill.
Oh, that's messed up.
The pill's been on the market for 60 years, but it's called Daraprim. But now it's gone from $13.50 to $700.
Yes.
Have you heard of this?
A friend of mine was telling me about this yesterday. He thought it was absolutely insane, and he blamed the free market. And I told him that wasn't the free market. The free market, people would be copying that thing and selling it on the street corners. But the way the regulations, et cetera, are, you've got the little cartels.
I think you're making a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
The cartels run it. And I said even the patenting, right? Patenting is not free market. The patents are issued by who? The government. And they stifle competition because one person comes up with an idea. They hold on to that idea for the next 50 years so nobody can copy it. Even if they go out of business, I'm sorry, you can't do that. The patent, you don't have the patent. So everybody has to reinvent it to get around the patents, and they can always be sued. And even corporations are a government construct. So if you have a free market system, you don't even have corporations, you don't have patents.
But I'm
straight up.
But I'm wondering with, can you patent a plant or a seed?
They've been working on it, yeah. Some genetics have been patented now, which is kind of scary because...
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, you can breed a version of a plant and say, now this particular piece of the genetic code is mine. And then you can hunt down other farmers that have similar things and see if you can find that bit of DNA in there and then sue them for it.
Wow.
It's crazy stuff.
So let's just assume, and we're not trying to play doctor here, but let's just assume you could eat this spinach that you were talking about. That's not really a spinach, the longevity spinach. Control your type 2 diabetes, let's say, and do away with the medication the doctor was giving you.
Well, you know that over 100 years ago, doctors were able to beat diabetes without drugs by diet changes. They had a greatly carb-restricted diet. So instead of eating a sandwich and then injecting with insulin, you wouldn't eat the bread. You would balance by eating proteins and fats for most of your energy and having a very tiny amount of carbohydrates in your diet.
Really?
And until the pancreas is able to regain its sensitivity to insulin. Because really what we've done, a lot of the diabetes, from what I've read, I'm not a doctor, but I do a lot of reading, is that we've been flooding our bodies with massive amounts of carbohydrates that were not made to process. A lot of sugar and a lot of grains, and grains were historically not nearly consumed to the level that we consume them now, because now they're cheap, because they're made in great big fields and they're harvested, and so we've got this.
Wow.
You eat a complex carbohydrate, it breaks down into sugar in your system. Your body busts it up into sugar, starting with your saliva. The amylase enzyme in your saliva breaks down the complex carbs into sugar. Bowl of oatmeal turns into sugar in your system, and your body goes, I can't handle this. I need to go get the insulin to deal with it. But there's some people that have been doing new research on diet changes, knocking back at least some of it, ameliorating the symptoms at least.
Would it work with type 1? Do you know? Type 1 diabetes? That's a little different animal, isn't it?
Yeah, it depends on how much pancreatic activity, or if your body is still able to produce insulin or not. There's a little bit. regaining sensitivity is important, but again, I'm not a doctor, just a researcher.
Always good information. All right, for the listeners, David the Good is David's name on his books. David Goodman is his real name, and he does have his books for sale online at your website, which is?
thesurvivalgardener.com.
Okay, and how many books do you have right now?
I have 3 books out and an audio book, and my publisher is supposed to be putting another book out in a month or so. And then I'm working on a series of little quick start booklets for preppers and survivalists right now, and that should be coming out soon. If you go to my website, thesurvivalgardener.com, and sign up for the newsletter, you can stay up on what books are coming out and what kind of cool stuff I'm doing in the garden.
Very cool. Always love having you here. You have such a lovely family, too. Your children are so well behaved. Just so nice. Thank you, David. Always fun.
Yeah, glad to be here.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu. The clerk who spent time behind bars for refusing to issue marriage licenses to gay couples could be in the spotlight again.
Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis may end up back in court after gay and straight couples who filed suit question whether their license is issued under the authority of the federal court without Davis's signature are even valid.
Fox Radio's Jeff Manasso in Cuba. The Pope celebrating Mass in the city of Santiago. In a few hours, he heads to Washington, D.C. for his first visit to the U.S. And New Jersey Governor Chris Christie wants a leader of his state's National Guard to shape up, giving him 90 days to slim down. This after Christie's staff told the Washington Post the governor didn't know the general had been reprimanded by the Pentagon about his weight. Christie, who once called himself the healthiest fat guy you've ever seen, underwent weight loss surgery in 2013. Fox News, we report, you decide.
There is something about the road that beckons, that invites us to pack up the family and leave the world behind. And there is something about an industry-leading unlimited mileage warranty on a certified pre-owned